Well, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, just wherever you're watching from across the globe. This is the closing argument on KMTV. We're live on Hot FM 107.9, and we are also live on Puma FM 106.3 in Bomi County. Well, we sorry and like to apologize for the delay due to some technical problem. But however, your show is back on the radio and TV, so we move over now to the folks in the US to begin the show. Good evening, Dr. Henry Peabody, and good evening to the closing argument.
Good evening, my brother. Good to see you. It's good to be here on the closing argument on this Wednesday's edition. We're looking forward to a fascinating show here today. We'd like to apologize to our listeners. We've been having some technical problems, but we just did not want to go off today. So we said that we'll come and do a 1 hour and 30 minute show because we just didn't want to keep our listener just uh, 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 uh,
In
wishing
suspense.
not knowing what's going on. So that's why. So it's good that we are here. We'll be joined by a few guests here today. We got Dr. Lester Tenney. We have Mr. Sam Jackson. He will be joining us, and our man Keff Hassan will be joining us as well. One of our members, Tomalin George, just got back in the country. He's making his way home. And Chairman Ben is still in Liberia. Jackie is off today, so we're just looking forward to an exciting discussion.
Yeah, so we want to take this time to extend our warmest greetings to all journalists across Liberia and the globe at large. As you may be aware, today, May 3 is celebrated each year as World Press Freedom Day. And so journalists across Liberia today converge in Monrovia and paraded the street from the PUL headquarters and then went up to the Monrovia City Hall where an indoor program was being held today.
Yes, congratulations to all of you guys. Today, World Press Freedom Day. I think it's very important for us to recognize, especially the journalists in Liberia, for the sacrifice they make and the extra miles that they go in bringing the news and the happening in Liberia for the Liberian people. So today, I join with others around the world in congratulating you guys for the work that you do. One of those that I would like to run the seat with one of the who I think he's receiving an award today in New York from the World Press Freedom Day. But today, all the journalists in Liberia, we want to wish you happy Press Freedom Day as well.
Thank you. So you can continue with the show, Dave.
So at this time, we'd like to bring on our panelists, one of our senior panelists here, the Honorable Keff Hassan. He's going to come on, and we're going to be joined also by Dr. Lester Tenney. We're going to be talking on a variety of issues today. We're going to continue our discussion of the VP pick, Vice President Walker pick for as his running mate, and we're also going to talk about Mr. Alexander Cummings' pick for his VP, and then we're going to talk about the president visit to London. There have been these rumors and this speculation that is going around that the president was not invited. He went there on his own. So today we're going to get some facts. We're going to make some calls and find out exactly was the president invited to King Charles coronation. So Kev, good to see you and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Closing Argument.
Yeah, Dr. Peabody, hi, how are you? How are you guys doing? Uh, well, it's another day for the closing arguments.
I think it's very important for
W-
us.
w- we here to give the news accurate, not conspiracy, and a lot of craziness out there from some and other places. But we are here to give the right uh, information. So we will talk about, so like Dr. Peabody said, we'll talk about the VP pick, who Mr. Cummings is going to select. A lot of rumor going around. that this pattern is coming in Buchanan. Some people say talking to Yombly, and we're going to talk about also the JMB pick, how the Liberian people are accepting it. Why there's a lot of backlash on that pick. Why people are not why Liberian people are now overwhelmingly receiving that pick. Why there's so much staying on that pick, and we need to talk about that.
Well, you talk about that's very interesting because you're saying that a lot of Liberian people are not receiving it, are not receiving the VP pick, Jeremiah Cohn, and you're talking about a lot of backslash and all of that. But on the flip side, folk will tell you that this have brought in some big change in the Liberia and all of that. But we're looking forward to diving into that conversation here tonight. We're looking forward to talk about what have been the response out there and what are people saying about VP Jeremiah Cohn's pick. So I think we have is Dr. Tenney there, Lester Tenney in the back. We'd like to welcome. We'd like for our studio, please bring in Dr. Tenney, and we are looking forward to be joined by uh, Mr. Samuel Jackson. But if you are on, we're going to have a very short show tonight because we have had a lot of problem with the internet. So we're just going to be here for an hour. But if you're on, we ask you to please just click and share. Just click and share. We're looking forward to an exciting time tonight in discussing the national issues of Liberia. So, Tito, could you bring on Dr. Tenney? Tito, could you bring on Dr. Tenney? All right, while we await Dr. Tenney to come on, we just want to recognize some of the folks that are joining us today. We see here we have Dew Salah. Thank you for joining us. Trukan Badu. Trukan, thank you for joining us. Fishbone Peking. Thank you for joining us. Please share the show. We have Iverson Fandela Patrick Pekin. Thank you for joining us. And I also see my friend from all the way in Norway, Mr. Swakoli Andrew. He's also joining us. We also have Mr. Kofa Buddy, who's joining us from all the way in Pennsylvania. Robin Dripper, welcome, Mr. Dripper, Ms. Dripper. Mark J. Brown, welcome, Mark. Thank you. Please share the show. We're looking forward to exciting conversation tonight in regards to the VP pick. But Kev, while we are waiting, Dr. Seni to come on the show, let's talk about this controversy that been going. Mark J. Brown, thank you for joining us as well. Let's talk about this discussion that have called the attention of a lot of people. Isaac Sa, thank you for joining us as well. Vice President Boaka, Jeremiah Cohn. What have you been hearing lately, Kev, when it comes to that?
Well, I think overwhelmingly folks from the middle, because you have the middle. I like to speak to folks from the middle who are going to decide this race. I think this pick fell flat on the face of the opposition, because the Unity Party, within the Unity Party, there's a mutiny within the Unity Party that folks who, or I can say within the breakaway CPP people, there's a mutiny in there, as you see that during the announcement, the faces that you saw were behind Joe Buckeye during the court date. Everywhere he go, none of those faces were behind him. Shows that most of them don't agree with the pick. And as for what we're seeing now among the ordinary Liberian people are criticizing this pick. They're calling in. They're calling on the radio. And I think it was a miscalculation. And I think he betrayed the Costa, Yomli Kanga, and others. I think he did. Joe Boca showed his real self, like he went against uh, Mo Ali and them, although Mo Ali is currently around supporting him still. But Amin Moda, like where he went against Amin Moda and kind of lift the hands of Reverend Luther. So we all know that JMB has a history of betraying his own people, and we believe that while we're gathering, because of I think he always go to the highest bidder. It's not in the interest of the Liberian people.
But Kev, let me bring your attention back. We were listening to Mr. Cummings the other day, and he talked about 5 years. Let me read something from Walter Gonake Jr. He says, 5 years with no harvest because you all gave one picking cutlass. He says some of your papi were successful in farming way past the age of JMB. You stop the age discrimination. So Walter Gonake is talking about. He said that it's an age discrimination based on the comment that Mr. Cummings made on Monday. Do you? And then he referring to. He said we gave the Peking. So I assume the Peking he's talking to is President George Weah. He's talking about 5 years. We gave the color to the Peking. He didn't do nothing. So what do you think about that? Two comment, Mr. Cummings and what Walter Gonake is saying right now.
People need to realize something. What Mr. Cummings said, he was spot on that if you gave all and the cutlass, the village will go hungry. He was spot on that, and people need to understand that Joe Buckeye was appointed as agriculture minister under Simon Kayando. So he had the cutlass. He headed the Green Revolution. You remember don't talk about Green Revolution?
Yeah.
Like JMB was the guy he was depending on. Can you tell me what happened in Liberia? Any food that anything, any farm that you can show that Joe Buckeye built for the Liberian people, besides his little thing that he doing bombing for him and his family? Can you anybody out there can show me? This man had the farm. He had the Ministry of Farming. The Ministry of Farming. What happened? Nothing. Zero. Guess what do they? Fire him and say you cannot produce. You cannot rescue Liberian people when you had the ministry. And your boss say you're not good enough. That now we at a geriatric stage and you're telling us that you can rescue us when you were much younger? Come on, man.
But why had he gained all this traction in Liberia? Now you talk about he was being fired by President Doe. He could not produce in his county. But why has he gained all this traction in Liberia? Why have Joe Blackouts? If he was not couldn't do what he's doing, he was fired. He was corrupt, as you said. Why is he gaining all this traction in Liberia?
What traction? What traction?
take your leader. Joe Barker is still a popular man in the Liberian party. His party is one of the leading party, fundamental group in that country.
If I was a member of the Unity Party, what happened last week Friday, I will be worried. Signing ceremony on February 4th. The entire capital city were on fire. The entire Liberia, because they have all over the counties were on fire. The signing ceremony. You watched that. You saw that. And this coming weekend, you're going to see Magibe is on fire from the Honorable Natural Fellow McCay. So when you take people to a crowded area and you say you get crowd, and you look at it, you say you get people, it's not popular. Let them go to Anthony Thomas Stadium and prove that they're popular.
So you're saying that? I heard somebody talk the other day. I think it was my friend Abdullah Katama, listening to OKFM, and he said that the crowd, at the program, you couldn't determine unless you take it to the SKD or the Anthony Tuckman Stadium and all of that. But let me apologize here to our audience. I know some of you are complaining that we came up very late, but let me say that we had a technical issue that, as you see, most of our guests are still trying to log on. We have been on that since 4 o'clock today trying to get on, and we had a technical issue. So Stephen Brown would like to apologize to most of our audience. Would like to apologize, but it was not our fault. It was a technical issue. Mr. Jackson just joined us. Welcome, Mr. Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, Henry, how are you? Kev, how are you? I'm so sorry. So, I mean, it's either my internet was slow or maybe the news stream you guys are using, whatever, but it's a horse of a different color. I'm here, and that's the most important thing. And let's hear what we have to talk about. Let's discuss the problems facing our nation. Let us contrast the political parties, the personalities and where they stand and what's happening. I'm very excited, because this is a very exciting year. This is an opportunity for the Liberian democracy, democratic pluralism that I fought so hard for, went to jail for, and I see it's in earnest. It's the growing democracy, freedom of speech, freedom of movement, mass media. It's just a wonderful time to be alive. I'm just so sad that some of my colleagues, that Marcus Don and Marcus Matthews and Oscar Queer and Wesley Johnson and Joseph Brooks and those other, stars that I started with 48 years ago are no longer here, but I'm here. So I'm just very happy to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you so much.
All right, Mr. Jackson, we're just going to dive right into the discussion since we are far behind time. We're talking about the VP pick of Vice President Barker. The issue, according to reports, they have been accepted in different ways. There have been a lot of backslash when it comes to the VP pick. Vice President Joe Barker. People are not happy. They have brought about division and all of that. So we just wanted to know your view on that. You are in Monrovia. You are into the politics. You are around everywhere. How are folks taking this? How are folks receiving this VP pick?
Okay. So there are three factors or elements that must go into the decision-making process to choose a vice presidential nominee or candidate. And especially within the Liberian context where coalition is extremely important. And also there's a great degree of ethnic inflections in Liberian politics. So the first thing the nominee must bring to the table is instant unity. That's the first thing must bring to the table. The second thing is the vice president must have the experience and have the ability to complement the presidential candidate. That's number two. And number three, because we are a donor-driven economy, we have international partners. That ticket must also have immediate international acceptability. It does appear to me that on those three scores, the first one, the cone, where cone come PYJ choice, brought in this unity. You saw the major players within the Unity Party collaboration. They did not show up at the meeting place or at the announcement ceremony. Yomli Kanga, a strong and powerful daughter of Grand Bassa. The Bassa people are in 7 counties. She didn't show up. Young and upcoming stalwart Henry Pedro Costa didn't show up. Benani Uri, the political leader of the ALP, didn't show up. But even much more nuanced, but very interestingly, the chairman of the TAC team or president of the TAC team, whatever she is, Tilia Uri, didn't show up. Didn't show up. So the ticket was not unifying. Okay. Then the second thing is Jeremiah Coon's own record. And let's not forget that Jeremiah Coon had been collaborating with the CDC for the last 5 years. So he has no record that's indistinguishable from the CDC. And then, of course, he is not identified with any major success or any success at all, legislative success whatsoever, right? And the third thing is the ticket, you have Prince Johnson, a mass murderer, hovering over the ticket. He's also been credibly accused by the Americans of killing 2 Americans. And then, of course, a few years ago, he was slapped with the Global Magnitsky Act. He, his daughter, and his wife. So those 3 elements and factors automatically made the ticket dead on arrival. See? So then, if the mixed ticket dead on arrival, what does that manifest? It manifests the decision-making ability of Joe Newman Boyka. Joe Newman Boyka is a decent man. He's a deacon at Ever Baptist Church. He raised a good family. He's a nice man. But politically, he's never been successful in his political life. Don't forget, he started off with the Truic Party as a young man, worked at LPMC, and then, of course, he gravitated towards our party, the United People's Party, didn't have success with that, and then he was made vice president. And he has no footprints. You know, typically in developing countries, in fact, in countries around the world, the vice president is given certain projects, and he posts his imprimatur on that project. And Joe Boyka was given this project, the ADA lab project, out in Foya to grow rice. $35 million grant or loan, but I think it was a grant. And that money was squandered, completely squandered. And so, you know, Joe Boyka is a great man, nice man. And then, of course, let's face it, you have to look at the age constraints that he's facing. He's a near octogenarian. My friend Martin Colley went after me the other day because he said Joe Boyka is 78, 79, but how far is 78, 79 from 80? But what would happen, God forbid, in the unlikely event of death of Joe Boyka, you will have Prince Yeru Johnson moving into the executive mansion. Now people will say, but the CDC was also in bed with Prince Yeru Johnson. That is true. The difference between the collaboration between the Unity Party, Prince Johnson collaboration, and the CDC, Prince Johnson collaboration is that Prince Johnson did not choose the vice president for either of those presidential candidates. And he was fed with a long-handled spoon. So what he did was to bring numerical strength to the ticket, but he did not bring any sort of decision-making, and he was not hovering over the ticket. So for those reasons, I think this ticket is dead on arrival.
Well, let me come back to you before I move on to Keff, Mr. Jackson. You mentioned Henry Costa, a very young and vibrant man. You mentioned Yumli Konga, a very strong woman, Tilia Ure, and also her father, Benina Ure. Those were the faces of the UP when you over the years and the months leading up to last week's pick. Costa, I mean, worked his butts off. Yumli was with him. Yumli was willing to sacrifice her Liberty Party just to support Mr. Boyka. The Urish were there morally, financially, in every way. Tilia, the tech team, and all of that. And then we see, boom, Jeremiah Cohn comes in. Jeremiah Cohn is a great man. I mean, he's a very humble guy. I know him, very good and humble man. But then we see this whole thing. Do you see this as a betrayal to them? Do you think it's a betrayal? Because let's take, for example, the last time we saw Ami Modad was the chairman of the party. He ran that party. He did everything. He made the sacrifices. He hosted dinners and everything at his resort, at his hotel. We saw Mo Ali, the secretary, who was in charge of this whole CPP, Secretary General. When it came to a time, they were all ousted instantly. Is this something that Vice President Waka is used to, or is do you think it's a betrayal to Yumli, Costa, and the US?
Okay, so the betrayal is a word that I have used, but I would like to use another word. I would like to use a thing is that the manipulation of these people more than a betrayal, because what Joe Boyka did was dangle the vice presidency, okay, as a shiny object before Yumli, before Costa, and before Uri. And they acted on the dangling of the vice presidential position, and they whacked their fannies off to make it happen. Every time Joe Boyka goes to the States, you see what Henry Costa does. He puts him in a nice home. He brings in the people to meet him. He basically finances that, right? And then Yumli, because of her connection to the Bassa people, a proud daughter of the Bassa people, and the fact that her father is the religious leader of the Bassa people, or Abba Kanga, he dangled that. But then it does appear that Joe Boyka, like he said, he's willing to dance with the devil to get to the presidency. So what it tells me is that,
did he actually make that statement?
He did. That's why. But he has not basically gone out and contested that he didn't make that statement. He said he would dance with the devil. But but let's just be very clear here. Peabody, and Keff, 24, 48 hours before that announcement, Henry Costa was telling his closest friends that he would be the vice presidential nominee. And he even told people a week earlier that Joe Boyka had already told Yumli and Cohn that he wasn't picking them, right? And then I heard that Joe Boyka made some pilgrimage to Yumli Kanga's father in Bassa on a Sunday, where he worshiped with the old man and he broke bread with the old man. So the reason why this thing looks so bad and it stings is that Joe Boyka did not claim behind him. Look, anytime you want to make a vice presidential decision where you're going to be making some feelings hurt, what you have to do is to placate and pacify those people. That is leadership skills. It's just like when in an organization, when you have to promote people who work in an organization, there are 3 very good candidates, but you have to pick one. So you don't go and talk to the one that you're going to pick first. What you do is you talk to the runner-ups. What you do is to show them that they're qualified and they bring all the right qualifications. But because of certain things for the good of the organization, this guy has an edge. But it doesn't mean that you will not also play a critical role in governance. So Joe Boyka didn't effectively do all of that. He simply just made a choice because he was hemlocked by Prince Edward Johnson. This was a manifestation of the coercion of Joe Boyka by the indomitable spirit or the spirit of Prince Johnson, because he holds a key to NIMBA. But whether he really does or not, 32 years after the dismemberment and live streaming of President Dole on TV, and with the up and coming young and rising stars in NIMBA, whether he still holds that sway. And don't forget, Henry Peabody, NIMBA County is becoming a cosmopolitan area, not just of Gil, Mano, and Mandingos, because Ganta and Sakapli and Tapata are trading hubs. Is attracting other tribes to like ArcelorMittal with the gold mining, with the iron ore mining. People do gold mining there. They do all kinds of agriculture projects. There is a cross-border trade. So they while you still have the majority of the people in that county are mostly Gil and Mano, but there are other ethnic minorities moving there, and they are a powerful voting bloc. Liberia is transforming. The demography is transforming. Prince Johnson, unfortunately, has held sway over the ethnic Manos and Gils for 32 years. He's 70 years old. He's refused to relinquish this. Even George Washington, the father of the American Revolution, did not have such sway over the American electorate. When George Washington was leaving, his farewell address was about unity. He did not pick a successor. He did not linger around to influence American democracy in perpetuity. And other people who have, like Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela did not stick around. Okay? He gave up power.
But others will say, before I go to Keff, others will say that your party did seek Prince Johnson in the last election. You guys went after him. You guys wanted him to be on your team the last election. With all the atrocity you talk about him committing, with all the things you said that Prince Johnson did, your party did go after Prince. So how will you respond to that?
But there are 2 significant differences. The first significant difference is that Prince Johnson had not been placed on global Magnitsky. And global Magnitsky is very clear about transactional relationships with somebody who is sanctioned. That's number 1. Number 2, Prince Johnson did not demand that we put somebody from Nimba County, his personal protege, on the ticket. In Ellen's case also. But in this particular case, it was Prince Johnson. If you remember, Keff, it was Prince Johnson who said, way before Joe Boyka made the announcement on the 28th, a week before, on a radio station in Ganta, he said that Rescue 2 would come from Nimba. And he was calling all Nimbayans. Prince Johnson wasn't calling all Liberians to come to the Unity Party headquarters. He was calling all Nimbayans. This man, because he speaks in tribal tones, and so that's why political leaders like Ellen and George Weah have fed him with a long-handled spoon. They did not bring him to the executive mansion. God forbid, if Joe Boyka were to die, Prince Johnson would be practically living in the executive mansion and influencing decisions, national decisions. And you don't want Prince Johnson having that kind of influence in terms of the execution of policies. You don't want that. I mean, he's a figure that is loved by the people of Nimba, fine, but he comes with a lot of excess baggage. So we didn't bring Prince Johnson into the executive mansion to execute executive policy and policy prescriptions. We kept him at bay at the legislature. Ellen did the same thing to him. But JNB is bringing this man, for however you may look at him, he's a vestige of the nasty wars that we held. And of course, political parties sought to affiliate with him to get vote-rich Nimba. But the form and character of that relationship was not the same as today, where he's hand-picking. What he's doing is hand-picking a successor to a nearly 80-year-old Joe Boyka. That is the difference. A man who has been sanctioned by the Global Magnitsky Act. It's a huge difference, Henry. It's a huge difference.
All right. I'll come back to you, Mr. Jackson. Honorable Keff, let me come to you. Do you think Prince Johnson, knowing, I believe that age is great. Obama Barack could lead Liberia with his present age and all of that. But do you think that Prince Johnson took advantage of Obama Barack's age and try to bring somebody younger and thinking that this person could be the next president like Liberia? But I mean, what do you think? Let's go back to this whole thing about Henry Costa, Nyomni, and Urich. Do you think that there was a betrayal? If that was the case, do you think Prince Johnson really dominated the selection process when it came to picking Senator Coon after vice president?
I can tell you this: nobody within that cabal of GMB. I'm talking about Dillon, Costa, Yombly, Tilia Ure, Benenda Ure. Nobody within that area of GMB knew that GMB was going to go to the Prince Johnson direction. This was a political coup d'etat on the rest of the guys. Take over. Prince Johnson is the head of the Unity Party. He controlling the Unity Party. He controlling the GMB. He's telling GMB what to say. Matter of fact, as Sam Jackson was saying, the tape, the recording out there, he broke the news. He said it will come from Nimba. He claimed it. He run the show. He running the show.
Why you think it's like that, Kev? We'll soon be going to our next topic. But why you think? Why did Prince Johnson come from nowhere? You have people on this list, Costa, Yumley, and others on the list, and then within about 1 or 2 months, we hear the name Senator Cohn. So how did Prince Johnson actually compare Bassa vote and Nima vote? It will be the next question I'm going to ask Mr. Jackson. But how did Prince Johnson get that far?
Well, because JMB moved by money. There's a financial hands behind this whole thing that control JMB. The same financial hands that rented the place for JMB, LB&B in Pennsylvania. The same financial hands that gave JMB money when the week that he came, this last trip that we all know, Dr. Peabody, the same financial hands were in Liberia that gave JMB money. That's the same financial hands controlling it. That's the guy. So he betrayed the rest of them because of money. We know that. The same financial hands when we went to Liberia that went in that room with JMB. We were sitting there. That same financial hands behind this.
So you said that. I don't understand.
Yeah, the same financial hands. We were there.
So who carried
Yeah,
money?
well,
Who carried money? Who
well,
took
we,
money?
we were there. We saw the same guy that went in the room with JMB and dish out money. The same financial hands that rented the place where JMB came to Pennsylvania. The same guy. That's the same financial hands behind this whole thing.
So what do you think? I want to Kev, one more question before I go to Mr. Jack, and then we'll close on that and go to Mr. Cummins, VP pick. So what do you think going to happen to the party? How you think Costa, Ure, and Yumli? You think they're going to come back to the party in the interest of peace?
The Costa, the Yumli and them, especially Costa preach against warlord like Prince Johnson. I don't see Costa going against his own. I don't know his politics going against his own belief. I don't see Yumli Kanga going against her belief. Let me say this. When we at our former station, Ami Moda said something. I don't know if you remember Dr. Peabody. He said, nobody feeling the pain like my son when he was betrayed. You remember what I said to Ami Moda? I said, tell your son that you stay a hero, you still a leader. And you know who other child feeling the pain? Little Costa. Little Costa, that little boy, is feeling that pain of the betrayal of his father that JMB did. That little boy. That's what this man is all about. Little Costa, that Costa little boy.
Wow.
Feeling
Now,
the pain.
Mr. Jackson, let me come to you. Bassa vote and Nima vote. Is there something different when it comes to the Bassa vote or the Nima County vote that Yumli was not selected? So let's stay on that for a minute.
So, since 1985, with the schism between Do and Kumpa, if you can remember that. Remember things like the Nimba raid? Remember those kinds of things where it pitted two ethnic groups against one another. And then that came to the cataclysmic war, okay? The 14-year war, where you saw the base of the MPFL fighting forces, right? Where people from Nimba, right? And then you saw the people who were fighting for Dole to hold power of mostly Crown people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that animosity there, it brought in something about unity between those two tribes. If you were in Bujumbura, you saw Bujumbura, you saw the unity there between the Crowns with themselves and the Nibayans with themselves. And those people there basically were the bulk of the people who were given preference in resettlement to go abroad. Am I right about that, right?
Sure.
So Prince Johnson, because of what he did, whether they felt that he preserved them, preserved the county. So they have this thing like this military hero come political leader, they have this thing for him, right? So they are more a cohesive group, for example, than the Bassa people. And then, the Mano and Gills are in a few counties up in the north there on the border, right? But if you look at the Bassa people, they are in Montserrado. they are in Mugibi, they are in Bong, and then even in Nimba, the Wees in Glanstown, Bassa people, then River says, right? So we are in 7 counties, right? But the Bassa people, because they are coastal tribe, and they've been interacting with foreigners for a long period of time, and you always teach us to say the Bassa people sold their land for smoked fish. If you look at the expansion right now that is going on, that is extending metropolitan Monrovia all the way to Marshall, Bassa people land. And if you go to Kanta and Saclay, PA, you don't have the same kind of foreign ownership of the land there. So there is a huge difference between the Bassa people in terms of plurality and the Nima people because of the war, and hopefully it will change as time goes on. But the Bassa people don't typically just unite as a block, okay? The Nibayans do block voting, BLOC, unlike the Bassa people, because don't forget there are many spheres of power in Bassa. It's not centralized like in Nimba. Prince Johnson is the dictator for Nimba County. Whatever he says goes. But in Bassa, you have Wesonga Finley, right? You have Daniel Chie. You have Yombli Kanga. And in the Bassa people, you have Sam Jackson. Of course, I don't have that much political influence like them. But if you talk about Bassa political leaders who have a lot of sway, there's a dispersal of power. Whereas if you talk about Nimba County, there's a concentration of power in the hands of one man. Okay? And that is dangerous. And that's why the Americans try to break when they sanction him, because they have evidence of his pay for play. So for Joe Boyka not to see that, envisage that the United States government, our major donor partner, want to break that, for lack of a better word, the absolute control that Prince Johnson has to make the last 2 presidents in our democratic dispensation have been chosen by Prince Johnson. 2005.
Pamela Jackson. Choosing Coon doesn't mean that, oh yeah, that's the only chance of Vice President Barker winning the election, that if he goes with Coon, that's the only chance of winning rather than going with Yombli?
So then, I don't know the calculus that went into that, besides the one I know, that Nimba in the second round have chosen the last 2 presidents, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and George Weah.
Okay.
And that's the formula that Joseph Yima Boyka wants to use, no matter what the consequences are, no matter if he dances with the devil. So the presidency is not a means to an end to improve the quality of life of Liberians, but it's a power grab. Because people who have a political conscience and want to do something in terms of higher for the people, they don't make those kind of decisions, especially when sanctions. Look, the difference between now and then, Prince Johnson was not on global Magnitsky, and he had not been credibly accused of murdering 2 Americans. And there may be an unsealed indictment against Prince Johnson. And look, Prince is my friend. I grew up with him. Yeah? But he put himself...
But take it or leave it. This man, of course, he's been accused of murder. We saw a live video of him killing people on YouTube. The video is there. You go there, you can see it, how he orchestrated President Doe and all of that. And we're all taking place. This man came and penetrated a party and got his wish.
Yes. So Peabody, remember now.
So he's still a powerful man.
So I just want you to take a back seat, right?
Right.
Look at 1997. You came apart, you came a man, I will vote for you.
Yes.
2011, you know both, you don't know both, I will vote for you. Mm-hmm. Right? So what it says is that Liberian democracy is still based upon uh, lack of information, and it's just based upon it's survival politics, because we're poor and we're insecure, and so we use the public purse, the public bureaucracy, for lack of a better word, to gain prominence, wealth, and other things, right? So because the democracy is growing, people have been making those kinds of decisions. But George Weah has built a broader coalition that brings together Joy Howard Taylor, and brought together in the past election. It brought in Alex Tyler. It brought in Prince Johnson. It was a broader coalition, probably the broadest coalition in the history of the country. Of course, the coalition may be having some issues, but it was a very broad coalition. Okay, it was not just a ethnic-based coalition, right? It was a broad-based coalition. What Prince Johnson wants to do, he wants to continue that tribal politics, that politics of, of ethnicity, where it's a politics of survival, where he pitting one group of people against the other. When Prince Johnson went to announce that choice in Nimba, he could have said, we're bringing an extremely experienced, highly educated, and a man of great integrity. He could have said that. But Prince Johnson only concentrated on the ethnicity, the origin of the candidate, that he must come from Nimba. Why couldn't Prince Johnson build coalitions across from Nimba and have other Liberian intellectuals, Liberian professionals, and others that he could have tutored, right? But he chose to use his own tribesmen because he wants absolute control. He wants access to the executive mansion. That's all he cares about. Let's just face it. It's very clear what Prince Johnson's objective is. Since he cannot himself use his face to enter the executive mansion, he will use his puppet to enter the executive mansion. This is plain and simple.
But Mr. Jackson, Mr. Jackson, what would say if you guys had the chance of Prince Johnson coming on your side? Let me go to this first. Senator Cohn, in his acceptance speech the other day, kind of threw a jab at the government of Liberia, the CDC government. He talked about people dying, unresolved murder. He talked about other things that's happening in the country. But it's a man that voted maybe 9 out of 10 times with the CDC government. Why is he throwing jab now? Let me go to Kev, then I'll come back to you.
Why is Prince Johnson throwing jabs?
No, Senator Cohn. He said that there were unresolved murder, the economy was bad, people have not gotten paid, but he voted maybe 9 or 10 out of 10.
You see, but you see, let me say this. The opposition of the Unity Party and others, I don't know what they think about the Liberian people. They sometimes think Liberian people are stupid. But the Liberian people are not. They are Liberians are very smart people. The Liberians are one of the smartest voters you can find. You want to tell me that the people so blind they don't remember that your political leader murdered a whole person on national TV? You won't tell me that the people don't realize that the Kamsi Rabba, a good friend of mine, and his son was my friend. In Maryland. His little son and I were hanging out all the time in Maryland. Yeah. You want to tell me that Liberian people don't know that he murdered Tecumseh Rabble, slap, what's that, Alice? With all the murder, you want to tell me the Liberian people don't know that the first man that entered Monrovia was Prince Johnson that destroyed our capital city? You want to tell me the Liberian people don't know that you went to Doe and Doe gave you food at BTC and you turn around, invited the man came and you kill him and you murder him and you drinking Budweiser and you giving little children guns. Then you telling me about a man who at that time was lifting the image of Liberia. At that time, only George Manawia was lifting the image of Liberia. Everywhere we go, they call us killer. They call us rebel. They arrested some of us. But guess what happened? When you call that man named George Weah, they free you. They give you food. Are there any Liberians to deny that? You, Prince Johnson, make us to look like a killer. George Weah make us to look like a human being. We who went as a refugee, George Weah was the way out for us to identify that we are part of this war. We're not barbaric. We're not evil because it's the name George Weah. When we say George Weah, they give you food in Conakry, Guinea, because I know I was there. That name George Weah. Okay, anybody. So how can his political leader, who the entire world know that he's a killer, that you calling a decent man like George Weah, who brought a good image to Liberia, who were playing soccer at that time? The only thing you could hear about Liberia at that time is the name George Weah. Some people want to compare the two. I think Jeremiah Kuhn must be sipping on something. Only a fool would believe that Prince Johnson, Jeremiah Kuhn, them, they're on the right side of history. Only a fool. History will go down and judge Prince Johnson, because Prince Johnson hurt some of us. A great star, rising star in Liberia, Tecumseh Rabble. Sam, great music, great musician. We talk about Masusu, all this great song. Coming home. He destroyed Liberia talent. That you want to talk?
But Kev,
Come on, man.
Kev, Ellen Johnson was endorsed by Prince Johnson. President Weah in 2017 was endorsed by Prince Johnson. So if he's endorsing a Waka this time, what is wrong with that?
You see, what Prince Johnson did, he hold Liberia under hostage, and Liberians wanted peace. It's not because they like him, because he hold the country under hostage. But the new generation, the first-time voters, they say we're not going to take it no more. He hold Liberia under hostage. You see what he doing? Go to the president. Give me money. You don't give me money, and position are gone. Give me money. And I can confirm to you, the president told him, I'd rather give that money to the Liberian people and build the road and build park and build the country and build road to your country than to give you that money. I can confirm to you that the president said, I will not give you 1 cent. he got
Okay,
upset.
let's move on to the next topic. I know we spent a long time on this. Let's go to the next topic. We're going to be talking about what appears to be one of the most kept secrets is Mr. Alexander Cummings VP pick. We have not heard any rumors about it. We have heard nothing around about it. What is going on? What do you think, Mr. Jackson?
There is no public interest in the presidential run of Alexander Cummings. Let's just face it. Let's not even quibble over words. The race is between the winner, George Manuel Weah, and the first runner-up, which is Joseph Yema Boyka. So there's no surprise element, and people don't really care who he picks, because I can assure you, people I've spoken to, and that people who may be on the short list have told me point blank they will feel flattered if he chooses them, but they don't want to be on the losing side. But think about this, Henry. If you are a rising political star, and you know the gentleman got 7%, and you see him, there's always disarray in his political organization. You saw the issue with the framework document. You saw the thing between the two Liberty Party wings. You saw the failure of the Retire Suffering rally. You saw the debacle of the 70,000 that was taken by some driver who ran away, and then another 40,000. And you see a politician, a great guy, but he doesn't connect. And let me tell you something, Henry. I lived in Atlanta from 92 up until about 3 years ago, 2020. I raised my family there. Alexander Cummings was never a part of the Liberian community. He lived in the fanciest area, okay, just in the middle of Atlanta, at a place called Buckhead with multi-million-dollar homes. I didn't see Mr. Cummings at weddings. I didn't see him at funerals. I didn't see him at children christening. And I didn't see him to any meeting of the organization until 2016, when he was trying to make a run. That's when he helped to support, to buy a community center or lease a community center for the Liberian Association of Metropolitan Atlanta. And if you go to Mr. Cummings' background, and Mr. Cummings is a great success, corporate success, and no one should force him to affiliate, associate with people who doesn't want to associate with. And he did extremely well, personal success, has a golden parachute. We have great inheritance for his family. But as a politician, there's no connection to the people of Liberia. Look at the people who've been elected president in the democracy. Well, 1997, Taylor won because of fear and intimidation. But there was a connection Taylor had with the people, right? Ellen Johnson Sirleaf came second in that in 1997. 2005, Ellen Johnson won because this woman was the Iron Lady. She was involved in the crisis in the country. She had a political party that she'd been with since 1997, right? George Weah, like Kev was saying, when I worked in Southern Africa, places I went, and as soon as I announced that I was from Liberia, the first word that came out of the people's mouths was George Weah. George Weah, George Weah. Okay? So George Weah also stayed in opposition in this country. Opposition for 12 years. He even went and he even conceded the presidency to somebody because he figured he was not prepared in 2011 to Winston Tubman. He subsumed himself to that. He kept his party as a viable political opposition from 2006 until 2017. That's leadership. That's decisiveness. That's loyalty. That's patriotism. That's nationalism.
But Mr. Jackson, one would say that Mr. Cummings is, take it or leave it, he's a formidable candidate when it comes to the Liberian election. We saw the Booker's case that were brought against him by this same group today that you see are having a problem with Joe Biden. Okay, you saw that you said that the framework document, but that case was totally thrown away. It was totally taken from court because it was a Booker's case. It was totally not. It was against Mr. Cummings and all of that. And we saw the resilience in this man to have overcome that case and to move forward. Mr. Cummings, one would say that just the ability to go back home and to want to help his country to run to be president of Liberia, that speaks volume. We know that Mr. Cummings was with Coca-Cola. He was just not based in Atlanta. He worked in Nigeria. He worked all over Africa. And he was moving from one place to another. So why will you say that he's not? There's no public interest. I mean, everybody's looking now to Mr. Cummings forming a vice president, of selecting someone who will make this competition more competitive. He's a competitive, commendable candidate. So why will you say that he never came around? He never did. He was traveling. He was working.
So let me just debunk that, okay? And I didn't reach as far as Mr. Cummings did. I was just a poor basketball struggling in the canyons, doing little operations work in terms of analysis and stuff, investment banking. I didn't reach to where he was. Mr. Cummings had his house in Buckhead when he was stationed into Nigeria. He came home for Christmas. He came home for holidays. He was raising his kids in Buckhead, just like I did. I was in South Africa, and I was coming back and forth to Liberia also. Don't forget that. Because in 2002, I was working for the Child Settler Administration, but I had my family, my wife and my kids. I was raising them in Atlanta. And when people die, I would fly from South Africa or Liberia and go to funerals in Atlanta.
But Vice President Walker visited Cummings. Other visited Cummings in Atlanta, Georgia. Why?
So let's just be very clear. He was not part of the Liberian community. End of conversation. He was not.
One would say a lot like Liberian. One would say a lot like Liberian, but
maybe I was not in his social class. Maybe I'm not in his social class. Let me tell you now, I live in a gated community in Covington.
I know where that is.
My family were middle class. We had great income, so I was no slouch in Atlanta. And go talk to other people from Atlanta. You know who they are. They don't know Cummings, but
I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I lived there for many years. I went to school there. And
so did you hang out with Mr. Cummings?
Well, I didn't hang out with a lot of people.
Thank you. So you never saw him.
Let's
get serious, okay? Let's talk about
the vice president pick. Let's leave.
Okay,
Mr. Cummings. Let's talk about the vice president.
Me, I don't even know the names. I don't have any interest in the names. The public has if the public has an interest in Cummings vice presidential,
you don't know the name. So you can't say the public don't have interest. The public do not know the name. Mr. Jackson don't say that.
I read the papers. Look. Mom, gave me the papers, yeah.
It's a well-kept secret, Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, but no, it's not engendering any interest whatsoever.
Well, for you, Mr. Jackson, because you are.
But so show me a newspaper headline, show me an internet headline, show me internet conversation. Tell me who the 3 or 4 or 5 people in the running, no one knows them.
Okay, who will you suggest?
No one knows.
Who will you suggest?
Huh?
Who will you
Huh?
suggest to be a running mate for Mr. Cummings?
I think he should drop out of the race.
That
I think he should drop out of the race. He should drop out of the race and support President Weah.
He's
So
talking
he can
about
go-
look, this. How will you account, Mr. Jackson? Then I'll go to Kev. Okay, don't you think it's a well-kept secret? Nobody knows. No gossip going around that this person is, that person is. I mean, don't you think that's the right way to proceed when you are going through? Because from when it came to VP Baga, Prince Johnson announced it a couple of days before he was even selected. Prince Johnson knew you having Riley all in the calling meeting that Jeremiah Kungo, but don't you think the well-kept secret? But who will you think? Who do you think that he should be considered? He should consider at this time to ask his running mate. Forget about getting on a race or not getting on a race. Election time will come. We'll see who the Liberian people are going to vote for. Who do you think that who should be his running mate? Are you there, Mr. Jackson?
Are you asking me who should be a running mate?
Who do you think? Let's forget about him dropping out of the race.
But I can't even think about who would be his running mate. Let him who's ability a running mate.
Okay. The
only person loyal to him that I see manipulating the processes
there's
for
a lot
him.
of people. There's a lot of people loyal to him.
But Mariah Yakula.
Mariah is the chief of staff, so she have to.
Yeah, but
Let's
I'm
go to
saying-
Kev. Kev, who do you think should be the running mate for Mr. Cummings?
Well, Mr. Cummings should look for somebody that he think he can trust, but I think yeah, I would disagree with Sam Jackson. I think he should remain in the race and run. But it's an uphill battle for him because all over the world, right? The people want to know you. The people want to know you. The reason the people want to know you. Let's say, for example, some of us are in America here. You remember the Pennsylvania Senate race that include Dr. Hawes. You remember that race? Yeah, remember that race? They pick a gentleman, even though he's a young man, but he has one or two medical issue. But he's a young man, but the people pick him because they know him. He's one of them. He's their blue collar working guy. It's a guy that would he put on his hoodie. He's not Dr. Hoss, on TV, get his thing, passing around the neighborhood, coat suit. They pick the guy with a hoodie. Reason number one, they know him. So it's not only Liberia, it's all over. The voters want to know you. They need a relationship with you. They want to be the guy. I can give you another one. Al Gore was running on the surplus from Bill Clinton, on the surplus. This country, those of us that were in America, Sam Jackson, this country we were buying gas for 50 cents, less than that. It was cheap. Everything was good. Jobs, all over things. So you could take $10 and cook a damn good soup in the country. That's what Al Gore was running on. Gas was 50 cents. But you know why? They're choosing even his own place. He loses. You know why? They don't have relationship with him. They don't feel him. They don't know you. So if they don't know you, I remember one of the favorite lines for George Bush where he said, Al Gore created the internet. And all that. Al Gore tried to kiss his wife to show that he's a flexible guy on national TV and all that stuff because they don't know you. The voters want to know you. They want to feel you. They want to come around you, and that's the problem. Mr.
Do
Cummings,
you know that Mr. Cummins is the only one that have visited all the counties in Liberia? He have visited villages. He done work in different
same
areas.
as same as Al Gore. He went all over.
Well, I grew up in
Big
America.
result
I mean,
going.
coming in Liberia, he's one of the only politicians that have been to every counties in Liberia, villages and other places with the message. I say Mr.
Yeah,
Cummins'
but
message
but
is
the,
not
but the
getting out
people
there.
but the people you can go to them, but they have to feel you. They have to know you. They have to know you. They know you going to them because you want something. They know you going to them because you want something. They have to feel you. The name of George Manawia, they know him.
Well,
This is a man. This is the man that suffer for Liberia. This is the man that play for this for Liberia and hurt himself, injured for the country, broke part of his body for the country. So they know that he went in the mud. They know him.
well,
They know he brought joy. But Mr. Cummings, throughout the war, let me tell you one of the most important things. Throughout the war, Liberians were crying for somebody. People were crying. They needed help. Listen, our sisters, and this is the hard truth, become prostitute in different neighboring countries. A millionaire was there, didn't go to them. What's the favorite part in the Bible, man? And that I always say, I think it's in Matthew. He's saying, did you visit me
when I
in
was
the prison? Did you give me food when I was hungry? The Bible said it. The Bible said it. You're a pastor.
well, Kev,
So the Liberian people saying now, and I know you not. When I needed somebody, you was a vice president for Coca-Cola in the whole world. You could have helped us, but they're saying I don't know you. So what Mr. Cummings need to do, Mr. Cummings need to return to Liberia. He's in Liberia. When I say return to Liberia, he needs to come back to the grassroots.
well, I don't know.
Reintroduce yourself.
I don't know.
Let the people know. Let the people know you, Dr. Peabody.
Kev, I don't know what
Dr.
you.
Peabody. The people got to feel you. The people got to feel you. It's not only Liberia. It's the entire
Yeah.
world.
At the end of the day, the Liberian people make a decision. But this man had returned to Liberia. He had built one of the best school, the STEM school, one of the best.
It's not enough. It's not enough.
That's providing quality education. He donated one of the.
But it's not enough.
He donated one of
It's
the
not
biggest
enough.
generators to be there. He built other places.
You know what he's saying to me? You
So,
know what he's saying to me? You know what he's saying to me? You know what he's saying to me? I give my wife all the cars, but I'm not home. I give my wife everything, but I'm not home.
But
I'm not home.
Kev, yes, it.
So you're saying that he built
It's the
school,
message.
he built school, he did everything, but the people don't know you. That's
Okay.
that's the thing.
It's the
But
message.
I still
It's the
think
message.
that you should remain in the race
It-
and run. But
Is the message the same today? That President we came, he saved us, was struggling. Is the message the same now?
repeat what you say. I'm not.
Is the message 2017? Is it the same now from the Liberian people when it comes to the CDC?
February 4th show you that the Liberian people still get trust in this president. The February 4th show you that the Liberian people, especially the young ones, they still believe in this president. You know. But let me make one thing clear, Mr. Jackson. Maybe you can comment on that. One of the reasons that shows that Cummings don't know the ground, don't know the terrain by joining the CPP. If you're preaching against corruption and this, then one of your political leader was JMB. We joined the CPP. JMB was your guy. JMB was your partner. So it shows that you don't know the ground, because the man who responsible of breaking down Nocal, FIB Bank, places. You can hear me, Sam Jackson. Sam, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes. The man who responsible 12 years in power. The man who got fired, Samarkand got fired. The man who had lucrative jobs. The man who was vice president during his tenure. A lot of money went through his office. The man who squandered the group of 77 of funds. The Libya, a whole lot of stuff shows that he don't know the ground. Because if you know the ground, why you want to align yourself with JMB? He shouldn't. That's one of his downfall.
All right, we're going to be joining us shortly for the next few minutes by Money Kishan, and you said Lofa Juniors want to join us as well.
Yes,
Money Kishan will be joining us shortly. He's going to come on, and because he wants to come on and talk about this. But Kev, who do you think Mr. Cummings should select as his running mate? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, Mr. Cummings. I think he should, you know, Mr. Cummings case is a special case, but Mr. Cummings can select anybody. He will never catch a fire. The problem is difficult. Let me tell you, Mr. Cummings campaigned more than anybody, because he's been campaigning since he lost the election in 2017. He campaigned. You should ask yourself, why the people still don't know him?
Well, it's coming from you, Kev. It's coming from you. It's coming from Mr. Jackson. But all I will tell you is in Monrovia and other places that Mr. Cummings is a very popular man. In Monrovia and other.
Well, I was in Liberia a year ago. Maybe unless the man and the man, because I can say that Sam Jackson came to the hotel Boulevard. People were calling him Sam Jackson all over. Mr. Cummings came there. I'm just saying the honest truth. I didn't hear people were saying he came there to us. Sam Jackson came there. Everybody, passing around, everybody, Sam Jackson, and he's not running.
Okay.
Because you know why? Sam Jackson living in America. He was in the military. But why people in Liberia still know Sam Jackson? Why? Because that's the problem we're having with Mr. Cummings.
All right.
His message is not resonating among the people, and that's the fact. I don't think his connection, his human connection. Sometimes when I listen to him, I pull up the speech. Guys, look at Mr. Cummings. He's not connecting. He's not talking to the people.
Well, coming
kind of like he's not
coming from two
he's not. He's not talking. He's not talking to the people.
I can understand your position coming from two
actually. He's
so
not actually
on the line. Let me ask Money. Mr. Sam Jackson and Mr. Keff Hassan has said that there's no public interest in Mr. Cummings' VP pick. What will you say about that? I know you're busy, but tell us what you say about. You need to balance on the camera a little bit. You're a little bit too. Okay, now we can see your face.
Okay.
Yeah.
And hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Monia, how you doing, man?
Yeah, how are you, Sam? And
I'm
Kev, how
fine.
are you? When I hear Kev saying that nobody knows Mr. Cummings, it's laughable because Kev himself just went to Liberia recently and never saw any of his friends. He was in a hotel 24/7 too. And I think I'm popular in Liberia than Kev, and that's the fact. But let me say this about our politics. For the last 17 years, the Liberian people heard about Unity Party, and CDC. When Madame Serif came to power, yes, she silenced all the other parties, not by to say she was dictator, no. But CDC was the only party they could not get rid of. But what they did was they put them on salary, which Mr. Jackson is aware of because he admitted that they were on salary for the last 12 years. And then finally they came back to power. So in Liberia, everybody know CDC or UP. Now, if we don't campaign, it will always be the Unity
I
Party
think
and
you have
CDC.
to,
But let me say this. Listen,
Moneyball, you have
listen,
to
Kev,
go
don't
back.
cut.
No, no, I'm not going to have your picture. Go back in the
Okay,
blacks.
okay, oh, okay, okay, you're
Yeah,
right, you're
yeah,
right. Yeah,
yeah.
I got you now, I got you. Okay,
Okay,
so
go ahead.
now, Mr. Cummings, for the last 7 years, 6 years, been going around the country. So far, the only candidate that have visited 73 districts in 15 counties, and it's fact on the record. Even President Weah never went through 73 districts. Now, Mr. Cummings been selling himself. When he lost the election in 2017, he went back and reintroduced himself to Liberian people. And everything we've been doing, we've been having couples of meetings, it paying off well. ANC is the fastest growing political party in Liberia. Mr. Cummings right now is the most powerful politician because if he was not powerful, CDC or UP would not be crying on his name because he just got 7% in 2017. But today, the people that had 62, 61%, and the people with the 38%, they are all crying on Alex Cummings' name. How can you say the people don't know Alex Cummings when Alex Cummings' name is in the newspaper every day? Every day is resonating to people. We're not going to get in the street and start to insult for them to know Alex. Alex will not insult George. He will not insult Mr. Barker, but his message is what we're going to preach. And the fact of the matter is that Alex is the number one consistent Liberian politician. He retired and got into politics. He don't need to look for job anymore. He's not going to run away. He moved home. He's in Liberia. Now, I heard Sam talking about Sam Jackson. Sam Jackson been with the Bako Mafia for so long. I think he was one of the youngest when Doe came to power. I saw Sam Jackson. There's a picture where Sam Jackson standing over and President Doe. I give him respect for that, being in the vanguard. But that doesn't mean that Mr. Cummings have to be part of them or Mr. Cummings should have been there since 1980. No, Mr. Cummings, he's a different guy. You know what I'm saying? But Mr. Cummings, nobody in Liberia will tell you that they don't know Cummings. They have heard the name Cummings. Maybe Mr. Cummings has not appeared in front of them. But the fact is that Mr. Cummings is a force in this election. The two parties are aware. They are aware of Alex Cummings. So let them not start playing politics. Oh, nobody know Mr. Cummings. The president, we are play football. Liberians love football. That's what they know him from. Nobody know President We have to be this guy who and did the extraordinary. And then let make you have to understand. With the lie about President We are going into refugee camp when he was playing soccer. And I still challenge people. Let somebody show me a picture. I will apologize 24/7 that President We are never entered the refugee camp. Now, if he ever entered the refugee camp, now he's president of Liberia. He never went to a refugee camp. He visited Ghana frequently and never even went in a refugee camp to talk to Liberians. The other day we had to raise money for Liberians in a refugee camp. You know what I'm saying? So let us stop all this thing about President. All we know, he's a good footballer. We will not take it from him. But one thing, he's a terrible leader. That is why we want to make sure they elected him by the ballot box. We're going to remove him through the ballot box in a peaceful means. So this election, go up, come down. When President Weah was so popular, he got 38%. Now he got a record that we got to fight. He don't have a record anymore anyway. We still going to remove. So imagine 38% when he was super. He had 28%. He never reached 50 plus one. Now that's it. So here in UP, we got to vote them out. We don't want CDC, we don't want UP. But one thing I want to tell Liberian people that this election is between CDC and the CPP. We cannot bring UP back to power because UP were there for 12 years. That's it. 12 years, that is enough. President Weah will vote for change. Since the change never go, they changed a little bit. 2% of the change started. We'll continue with the change. Either the Liberian people can keep what we want to keep, or we'll have to vote for a real change. And that real change is Alex Cummings. If it costs us to lose the election, we are prepared. But we will not bow down to any corrupt officials in Liberia who think that because we want to win election, we will sleep with the devil. We will not sleep with the devil. We are prepared to go door to door and we will be there. And for those of you watching, don't worry, I'm a voter, so don't worry about that. I am 100% a voter. So that's all I'm going to say, and I will just be standing by watching you guys.
Part. Let's go to the last part of conversation. Then from there, we're gonna go to the phone for the next for 6 or 7 minutes. There have been some rumors around that the president was not invited to the King Charles coronation. People are saying, I mean, it was all flooded yesterday. People put out all kinds of stuff. Oh, we got the list. We got the Wikipedia list. The sitting guy is there. The other person will say, let me come to. Do you think the president was not invited? If he was not invited, why do you think the president would go to London?
You talking to me?
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Okay. Listen, and Doc, and those of you who watching, I don't really want to go into. To me, it's just a petty stuff.
Yes.
But one thing, and we know that the invited countries.
Yeah.
The only thing I am saying, maybe President Weah could have sent somebody, but I sure he was invited. But they shouldn't make it look like they invited he and other guys, but not all the African leaders. So I got no problem with President Weah going to wherever he want to go.
Absolutely.
If he chose to send us or surrogate or choose to send Kev or Sam Jackson, fine. There is nothing wrong. This is all petty things. We got bigger things in Liberia to fight. So
Right.
I'm not going to even get online. People inboxing me. Oh, guess what? This is another thing. Hey, if they're doing inviting, they're not going to put food on the table. If they're inviting, they will not put food on your table. If they're doing inviting, the security base will not be. No, so let us speak on the real issue. People who talk about President, we are, oh, the men are supposed to go there. That's their business. I don't care. All I
But
know, the real
that
issue is that confronting Liberian people is what matters. So all I dare to do is to remove President Weah because he's a terrible leader. He's a good man, but he's a terrible leader. He's not leading Liberia the way. He's afraid to take responsibility. He's afraid to fire people. He's afraid to even protect the people of Liberia, especially when he took the oath that he would defend the Constitution. The Constitution is the people. It's not just the paper. It's not just talk. It's the people that matters. So he's supposed to protect every Liberian citizen, and we expect him to speak to us, encourage us. We know we're going to remove him, but encourage the Liberian people. Say there are better days ahead of us, but he's not doing it. We're seeing his people enjoying. And look, all the little petty roles that they're fixing on the petty roles, it's not going to put food on the people's table. We're talking about the real issue, job creation. That's what we're talking about.
But
National security to protect the people.
honestly,
That's
those
it.
places were not there. People feel relief now with those petty roles. So let call a spade a spade.
Yes, the road we're
Definitely
talking about is a feeder road. Feeder road has no economic benefit. I want to see road from there to the border. I want to see roads from there going all the way where the people will bring their goods in town. I'm not talking about road on Dupo Road that are going to benefit somebody who get nice cars and whatsoever. I'm talking about roads that will bring something to the country. I want to see the road going to Sierra Leone. I want to see the road going to Nima County. I want to see the road going to San Pedro. That's what we're talking about.
But there are
So
other
roads,
there
we
are
don't
other
vote for
roads.
we don't vote for president
There
based
are
on
other
roads.
there are other
Listen,
roads that have
listen
been
now,
constructed. I see the
listen,
I see the
listen
roads.
now.
In America, we don't vote for you based on
Listen now.
road. It's the
Listen,
economic value we look at.
listen now.
Yeah,
You
go
can
ahead.
tell. No, you can tell that Moneyball, you've been out of Liberia, or
Hey,
maybe
my last time was 2018, and I spent 6 months there. So leave it.
so
And I
2018.
there,
I
yes, and I
understand.
spent 6 months.
I understand why you don't know that the Rafi Highway is being built. I understand that you
Hey
don't
man,
know
stop
that
it, man. I beg you,
the
man. Kev, stop
I
it.
understand. I
Don't play.
understand that. Wait now, I give you a chance now. I understand you don't know
Okay,
that
go ahead.
the road to Lofa is being built. I understand that you don't know that the Nimba Road is being built. We'll give you. I can send you some of those things then, so you cannot go on some shows then, or you talk about it. People will say, "Hey, the guy know things that be happening." There are a lot of roads, and as I speak to you now, the road to the Sierra Leone border uh, is being fixed. So there's a lot of things. I can send you pictures. I can send you everything. So if you can agree on this platform right now, people in Liberia listen to you. That if I send you some of this information, that you will come on and tell Liberian people I'm sorry for giving you misinformation. If you agree, after the show, I'll give you all the information, including pictures and all that stuff, so you will know.
You want
So
me?
you agree?
Okay, do you?
No, no, I'm
No,
asking you.
because you are
So
giving. No, no, no,
so you agree?
no,
So
no.
because you see, so
I
we
got
cannot
someone who
debate.
just left from Sierra Leone. But don't worry, I will be driving from Sierra Leone to Liberia. Don't worry, because I
Okay.
know the road from
So
Sierra Leone to the
because the
border.
reason I'm saying
Oh, no, no,
this,
no.
the reason
Relax,
I'm saying this,
relax, relax.
if
So
I
the
give
money
you,
ball.
if I give you the
The road
information,
to Water side is paved. The road to
When the,
the
when
road to
when they
Water
pave
side is
it.
paved. Huh?
Okay. Well, I want to see that because
But the road to
the last
Water
time I
side, come
saw.
to the bridge, is paved to
but
go
Listen,
this all the way.
2018
listen,
is
You can
just
drive
when
all the
the
way
2018
listen,
is just the time the
li-
president
Freetown.
took
li-
over. So the reason why
listen,
you can't get that
listen,
2018. That
Okay,
the
listen.
but
Unity
Excuse
Party
me.
country stay in your mind.
Let- Okay, let me tell you.
Listen,
Let me tell you guys something. I know
I'm
about
asking.
cities so
This
much.
man left
If that rule,
2018. He went there
listen now.
2018. So I
Okay,
don't blame
listen.
him. We still have that Unity Party Liberia.
Okay,
But no, that's
if
not
that
the
rule
Unity Party Liberia.
and the way President we are love to dedicate things. If that rule was paved from that border to Bombing Hills, President Weah was going to go there to delegate that rule. So stop it. We know
no,
President Weah will
but
show
listen to
up.
me,
He will
money.
show up to.
Money,
That's not
the
true. That's
Babangida
not true.
Highway, the
Money well.
Babangida Highway been there, it been there ever since. They call it
But
Babangida
then
Highway.
there
It
you
can, let
yourself.
me
I know
finish
about.
now.
But listen.
Hey, it comes from Clay Junction straight, it goes straight to the, anyway, let me give
Okay.
you,
Not yet.
Oh no no.
let me
Oh
give
Sam
you,
Sam.
but let me
I
finish,
know
but you've
about the
been talking,
Bamagida
hold on,
how.
please.
Okay, go ahead. No, but you've
Let me
been talking.
talk.
Hold it. Let me talk to.
Go ahead,
No, I
Mr.
don't
Go
talk
ahead.
President.
yet.
Actually,
I don't
go
talk
ahead.
yet.
Quickly, Mr. Yeah.
I don't talk yet. So money. Let me tell you about the bread and butter issue that the president has. You always say, let's talk about my water, right? Let me give you
Go
some. Let
ahead.
me give you some information, okay? Rice price, we kept it at $13 for 4 solid years.
And how much for it
When
now?
the, yes, we kept the rice at $13, right? For 4 solid years. While the price of rice in other countries in the region was high. So they were using our rice for scarcity. They were coming in and buying the rice and taking it and making profit on it. So for four
Stop it.
years, let me finish now, let me finish, don't stop me. The value of the rice for 4 years, look at the kind of savings my water then made so they could put the savings into other essential goods and savings, okay? Let's look at electricity. Electricity was $35 per kilowatt hour. We brought it down to 22 cents. Allah. And for socially disadvantaged people, it's 14 cents. There were what we call legacy structural impediments for businesses not to come. The neighborhood roads don't think that. You talking about, I want to speak big economic book, economic rate of return,
Go ahead.
right?
Speak it. Speak it. The
No,
poor
I
hear
will
you.
not. When you build neighborhood roads into Nizo, into the community, the value of the properties in those areas there go up. Then what we have to do in economics, we call it land value capture. The property value go up. So the house in those community that was like worthless, because road in those community now, that house is worth plenty money. Then money, free public tertiary education. We educate 27,000 people every 4 years. They walk out of the public universities in Liberia. Okay, they're getting skills, they're getting educated. Free wire, free prostitution used to be very high. For the high school
Yes,
students looking for money to pay the wire.
yes,
They're not doing
yes.
it anymore. Okay?
Yeah.
Money, let me tell you something. I don't know when the last time in Monrovia, but I don't want it to be Monrovia-centric conversation. But let's look at Tubman Boulevard. Look at Oka. Look at Oportos. Look at Zara. Look at City Billos. Look at Loving. Look at the expansion of the city of Monrovia all the way west to Pearl River, and east to Marshall, Disco Hill. That progress. Now let me tell you something. Doctors used to be paid $700 a month. $700 a month. Doctors are now getting paid how much, Keff Hassan? $2,000.
$1,000. Yes.
Yes. And so the debt, we made a debt, domestic debt at 800 million. Then domestic debt was 200, but guess what happened? In Joe Biden government, it was $500 million of what we call legacy debt that we're hitting. We brought those debts and we put it on the book. So we rationalized our debt. Okay? The other thing we did, we're using what is called unsourced revenue. That means domestic resource mobilization. The Liberian people themselves that pay taxes. Everything you buy in Liberia, GST tax, 10%. Allah Keff Hassan, everybody will pay taxes.
You're right.
So the 3.7%, the 3.7% growth rate, all of that, taxes on international trade, taxes on goods and services, we pay it. We have taken the budget to $782 million. So you say we didn't create jobs, but let me ask you a question. The roads that we built, that robot building those roads, the banks will have 100 branches. The robots working in those banks, loving with 4 or 5 bakeries in Monrovia. The robot working there, Oportos, Zara, the building that they're building all over, Marshall, Peabody, Harpo, Ganta, all the projects.
When you traveling that Ralphie Highway, that robot there working on the street there, the road that they're building on that Ralphie Highway, that robot there.
All right, guys, we gotta go to the phone line. Money boy, you got to on you here. We gotta go to the phone.
Money boy, even though we count the number of jobs though, but let me tell you something, and I want to talk big book. Before they say, because I went to LSE, I want to talk big book. Man, water then they know that Georgia have done so much for them. Look at the new market. Don't remember what's selling in the rings. Hey, man, your time, where LSE, she support women. Look, man, water they was selling in the ring. So we're building new market building for them. Hey, money captain. And then, you know what happened? The armed robbers used to take a lot of money from people. You know why? Because we used to keep our money where? On our mattresses. But last year, $2.2 billion electronic mobile money transactions. People got mobile wallet now in their pocket. Your phone. Like, where your money at? Armed robber can't come back and take your money because what we're doing, we paying the people straight by putting their money straight in their account. Right? Only 15% of Liberians have bank account during the Joseph Walker United Party government. 15%. Now almost 40%. Look at the banks.
Well, that's something that had to be fact checked or something like that. So,
you can fact check.
Can I come in? Because I think Mr. Jackson.
What about the last check and then we'll go to the phone line?
The Central Bank report.
Okay.
$2.2 billion of transactions are now conducted through mobile money and electronic payment, Visa, MasterCard. That is truth. Okay?
Mr. Jackson?
That's improvement.
Money will come in,
okay.
And then we'll go to the phone
Mr.
line.
Jackson, you know, I told you the other day, I said, you're not a good guy to make the case for CDC. You are very terrible in that, making the case, because what you're saying to the Liberian people, all the little fine print that you're giving here, you're talking about develop or rule and the property tax and the property value goes up and whatsoever. Everything you just said, there is nobody in Liberia feeding it. It's all a made up story. Everything you talk about here. Wait, excuse me. Wait now. Can you wait?
I tell you,
wait now. Wait now. Give me a chance now. Give me a chance now. Hey, my friend, Mr. Jackson. You know, when I hear you talking about free WAEC, it's an achievement. That's to you, that's an achievement. But the last time, remember, the first person, the first Liberian to ever pay free WAEC was Mr. Cummings. Before even President Weah, when he was senator, tried to do it during the campaign. And then with your fake
Anyway, okay, too much.
tuition. Give me chance. Give me chance. Give me chance.
Let's joking,
I don't want you to ask Kev to give you an example. Hey man, oh my man, listen now, listen. I heard you talking about the depth. I heard you talking about the depth of Liberia. We heard that. I'm not an economist, but we heard that Unity Party took it to $900 million, and the CDC government have just taken it to $2 billion. So you need to go back and change the whole story. But let me say this. Everything you just gave, the fine print, you know how to explain it. No Liberian will listen to you because they're not feeding it. How how can you say that you control the rice? How much is rice price today in Liberia? How much is the price for rice today? You know, if you guys were going to stop the corruption, maybe Liberia is going to be better off. But because you're concerned about the pockets of the officials in government, that is why our people are going through the hell today. You can show us no data that you people have created jobs because you don't even create the avenues for the people to create jobs. So, Mr. Jackson, everything you just said, no average Liberian man will buy it from you because today, as I speak to you, there are a lot of family
You're not
going to
average
bed hungry.
Labron, no. You are
No,
a
no, no.
zealot
Forget it.
for
I'm
Alex
different.
Cummings.
No,
Not
no, no.
average.
Forget about me.
If I tell
Forget
you,
about
say
me.
a reading,
Listen.
a
Oh,
discussion, you
man.
said a lie. You said
Give me
a
chance now. Give me
Why would
chance.
you take
Moneyball,
my
Give me
Moneyball,
chance.
we gotta go to the line. Moneyball, you gotta be quick. We gotta go
Okay.
to the line.
Yeah, man, boy, I
Okay.
beg you,
Let's go to
man.
the line. But Mr. Jackson, you know what? I really don't want to stand my ground because I'm sitting somewhere where the noise is too much. But anyway, it's another day that you can win this story. You can win this case. But I think you need to change your campaign
You think
style.
Alex
You're
Cummings
not
people will
you're
accept
not
that
going
wire will pay tens of thousands of students wire fee?
Yeah,
You
the
think
general-
Alex Cummings will accept that the price of electricity came down will create jobs?
Jackie,
I think Alex Cummings will say all the construction work that going on and our robots are doing it. You think Alex Cummings people will accept that? You think Alex Cummings people will accept that prostitution by those girls that used to go prostitute for wire fee, they're not doing it again? That 27,000 children every 4 years graduating because of free public tertiary education, you don't know that? That the land value capture, the land value in those neighborhoods where we put those roads there, the property value of those houses going up. You think that Alex Cummings then will accept that? You think that Alex Cummings will accept the fact that George Weah is building new roads and rehabilitated roads? Eh? That Ellis Cummings people will accept. The Ellis Cummings people will accept.
Gaia gotta come back. We gotta come back for this.
3.7% economic growth
okay.
rate last year.
Mr. Jackson, I'm leaving you guys now. No, I try.
I think gotta go.
I want to tell you guys.
Let me
Let me get
finish.
the last
Let
one,
me
boy.
finish.
I mean, you took my time, man.
Mr. Jackson, we got less than.
You took my time, man.
Liberia has the highest life expectancy in the Mother River Union. The highest. Liberia was one of 20 countries on the planet that saw a significant decrease in multidimensional poverty, according to the Human Development Report. Liberia, in terms of girls' education, gender parity, many girls are graduating from high school now because we're decreasing what? Teenage pregnancy. Maternal mortality went from 1,023 to 700 during our time.
That information is false,
Mr. Jackson, you're giving false information to the people. But the good thing is that Liberian people will not listen to you. You're giving false information.
All the data you've been providing, the
No.
statistics has been
Everything is wrong. Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah, but
Jackson.
Wrong.
contradict it.
It's not.
And that's why even
Exactly.
Exactly.
Tell me
Let's
where.
get Jackie
Tell
some
me where.
flashes.
Where on the
Let's
statistic?
get Jackie
Where
2 minutes. She just came on. Let's get Jackie 2
he
minutes.
said
Jackie.
maternal mortality was 778. That was before the Ellen Johnson's Leave
No, I
Unity
said
Party
it was
ended.
1,000. Listen, no, don't mess with me.
No.
I said it was 1,023 in 2013, according to the Liberian Demographic Health Survey in 2013. And in the 2020 Liberian Demographic Health Survey, it came to around 700. That's what I said. Do not misquote me.
When the CDC government took over, the maternal mortality was 778. It went up back into
That's
the
not
1,000.
true. No way. No
You
way,
can't
man.
tell me that's not true because I worked with the data. You can't tell me it's not true.
Not bet on it.
You are exaggerating, Mr. Jackson.
2013, in 2013,
Mr. Jackson,
But wait, listen to me.
Mr. Jackson, you are
Don't Mr.
providing
Jackson me.
information
Do
that
not
is
Mr. Jackson me.
inaccurate and that is false. Stop that.
No, but listen to me.
Everything went up
Put your
under the
source.
CDC
Put your
government. The
source. Put your
statistics went
source.
up.
What is your source? What is your
What do you mean,
source?
what is my source?
Yes, you gotta give me the source. Give me the source.
You gave me your source because
He
your
already
source is
did.
wrong.
He already did, Jackie.
The number that you said, listen, Mr. Jackson, the number that you said that was 700, it is accurate, but that was under the Unity Party government.
No way, man. No
All
way.
right, but Mr.
He's switching it.
Mr. Jackson, you taking the Unity Party numbers and you're applying it to the numbers under the CDC government. That's what you are doing. Stop that. I know about the demographic health survey is a 600 plus page. I know about it. I know how the survey was done. I know what the survey.
Jackie, where your source that it went up under the government?
This is demographic health survey.
Can you show it to us?
Let Sam Jackson show you his number.
Sam Jackson, can you show it to us?
Let him show you the number. He took the numbers that were quoted before the Unity Party government left office.
Let me talk.
Stop that, Mr. Jackson.
But listen, no, you gotta stop. Let me talk.
No, you gotta stop. If you want to give numbers, do not bring numbers before the Unity Party government and apply it to the CDC government. Don't do that.
Why you can't
I mean, you get no nurse behind you. Take it easy. How you talking? No nurse behind you there. Okay, you CPR.
Okay. Mr. Jackson, under the CDC government, maternal mortality went up. But you let me finish, I will let you talk. Let me finish. Give me 1 minute and I will let you talk.
Let her finish.
These are the facts. The debt ceiling for Liberia, our budget debt ceiling.
No, don't go to debt. Don't go to debt. Let's take on demographic health survey.
The mortality numbers.
No way.
The maternal mortality numbers went up.
No. You will stay on LDHS. You will stay on LDHS. You're not going away. You're not getting away with that.
I'm talking about all the figures you've been talking about.
Okay, but let me give you the figure.
I'm hungry now.
Let me give you the figure. No.
Continue.
Go ahead.
Inflation went up. The exchange rate went up. The poverty rate went up. Should I continue? The poverty rate went up. The hunger rate has gone up. The corruption rate has gone up. Should I continue? The debt ceiling has gone up. The infant mortality rate has gone up. Malaria rate went up, although it started to come back down. Should I continue? Everything went up. Poverty rate, exchange rate, everything went up.
You finished?
And that's the fact.
Are you finished? You finished?
Yeah, but don't come and mislead the Liberian
people.
Jackie, you already let him say his own.
Okay, let me say my own. The Liberian Demographic Health Survey of 2013.
I know about it. It's a 600 plus page.
Let me talk. But let me talk.
I think don't let him man get heart attack. I beg you, Jackson. Don't get heart attack. I beg you.
Why she going to let me talk? You finish talking.
There's nobody who get you CPR or what. I beg you.
No, I got no CPR. My blood pressure.
Nobody that will get you CPR.
Liberian Demographic Health Survey. You don't want to listen to that. The Liberian Demographic Health Survey of 2013, 1,023 plus 100,000 on Ellen. In 2020, the Liberian Demographic Health Survey, the maternal mortality rate
in 2017.
But you can't let me finish. Yeah, man, look, I get out of here, man. I'm talking. You don't want to.
Go get it.
You don't want any chance. You
But
finish
I'm
talking.
correcting you.
But no, you're not correct. I gave you statistics. Let me finish.
You got 1 minute, Mr. Jackson. You got 1 minute.
No, but you can't let me talk. You gotta get me talk. You see, why you doing this over talking me to bamboozle the public? You bamboozling the public. And I will never let you get away with that. Because this thing is my area. 1,023.
It's my area too.
Okay, your area, but you let me talk. 1,023 per 100,000 in 2013. It came down to about 700 to 800 in 2020. That is the statistic.
In
Maternal
2017.
mortality,
Let me finish. Let me
Jackie,
can you let me
Jackie,
finish?
give me a chance, and then you're gonna come in
Give me
right
a
after,
chance.
and then we'll go
Okay.
to the
Give me
phone
a
line.
chance.
Yeah.
Give me a chance. Maternal mortality has been coming down. Maternal mortality has been coming down. I told you the public debt is about 1.3 to 1.4 now. The international debt was 800, and then the domestic was 200, but there was 500 million of legacy debts that was hitting. And we just rationalized it. The life expectancy, according to the Human Development Report of 2022, is 64 years. It is the highest in the Mana River Union. Don't talk over me. I'm giving you the Human Development Report of 2022. The statistic from there. You're not giving us no source. You're not giving us no source.
After Mr. Jackson, let's go to the line. After Mr. Jackson.
I get Jackie 1 more minute, and then we'll go to the line. Mr. Jackson, you done? Are you done, Mr. Jackson?
I'm done.
Jackie, go ahead. 1 more minute, Jackie, and then we gotta go to the phone line.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, we all know that you're a math man. And we all know that you read well and you comprehend numbers. So your ability to comprehend is not the issue here. But what is the issue here is your ability to produce the facts to the Liberian people
I
as
did.
it
I gave you the
is.
sources. I
You
gave you the
just
sources.
misled the Liberian people and took
contradict me.
numbers. But let me finish now.
Okay.
You took the figures prior to the 2018 and you injected them in the post 2017 governance system. So you need to stop that, Mr. Jackson. That trick is not going to work.
Yeah, let's go to the line
And
now.
the reason why it's not going to work is because, no, wait, give me 30 more seconds. Peabody, give me 30 more seconds.
Then you just over talking.
Give me 30 more seconds.
Give a chance to talk. Go ahead.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry I gotta leave you guys. Thanks very much.
Thank you for
And Sam Jackson, I will see you. I'll see you, Sam. So we can go swallow some fufu.
Money ball, man.
All right. Money.
Go swallow your
Be safe.
fufu, Monet.
Be safe. Jackie, what's Jackie? Jackie, give up. You got 10 seconds. We gotta go to the phone line, Jackie. We're running against time.
So let me give one example to Mr. Jackson.
Give me the source. Give me the source.
Be quiet.
Give me the source.
But let me land.
What is your source?
Jackie, give the woman chance. That crossfire on that, Jackie.
Yeah, but let me give me source.
The same demographic health survey. There was a delay in publishing it because the numbers for the maternal mortality and infant mortality rate was so astronomical. They were so high that we couldn't even publish it at the time. Our partners, our international partners, were on our case because maternal mortality and infant mortality rate kept skyrocketing. And they wanted to know why the numbers kept skyrocketing when they were investing in infant and maternal mortality.
You're just talking to be talking. You're talking to be talking.
Stop
You're not giving us
misleading the Liberian people. You're taking the numbers from Unity Party that Unity Party left on the table, and you injected it. The numbers should have remained the same. Unfortunately, they never remained the same. They should have even improved. Before United Party left office, maternal mortality was 778. That's the numbers you quoting here. It went up back to 1,000.
In what year was the Liberian? The only source of the maternal mortality is the Liberian Demographic Health Survey.
Exactly. I just told you it's 600 survey. I know what's the survey. It's a 600 page document.
I gave you my sources. You have no source.
Stop misleading the Liberian people.
Let's go to the phone line, guys. Fine conversation. Let's go to the phone line now.
Certainly, we got to go to the phone lines, and so it's your turn now to partake on the program by calling 0880 60 33 60, 0880 60 33 60, or you can call 0775 60 3360 to form part of the program tonight. The closing argument is a very heated one, And so we go to the telephone line to begin taking calls on the show tonight. 0880 60 33 60 0775 60 33 60 are the numbers to form part of the program tonight on the closing argument.
Mr. Jackson, I should have been on this show earlier to debate with you.
We're gonna debate. You
We're just
can't
gonna
give me
take 5
source.
calls
When
and then
that
we'll
talk,
call it a day.
Because all these numbers, man, wow. You just took the turnover notes. I mean, they must have given you the turnover notes to use it as your argument for this and to support this government. That's what happened.
you see
The
me looking
turnover
at
notes,
notes.
they just gave you the booklet
in my
and they
head.
say, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I ain't reading off the turnover notes.
Can you put
You
a
see
number
me
for the people to
looking
see?
at turnover notes?
Because you know better.
Can
You
put a
know
number up for the
better.
people to see?
You work in Ellen government too, in the UP government. You know
I never
better.
did.
Mr.
I was a
Jackson.
consultant.
You work there like how you working in this government.
I'm not working in the government.
Yeah,
Where
you
am I
are.
working at?
Yes, you are.
Where?
You are.
Huh?
You are.
Where am I working? You see me
I
on
saw the
payroll?
records.
Okay, no problem. You saw the record. Take me to Tamakot.
I saw the records, Mr. Jackson.
Is the phone line working? Or we just
Are the calls not
Yeah,
going through?
yeah. So we are not live on the radio tonight, especially for Hot FM, and so
We're having
we
technical difficulties.
yeah, they've been having a lot today.
Okay.
All right, what we'll do, let's just do our closing argument. Let's just do our closing. We'll go to Mr. Jackson first. Jackie, since you came in live, we'll give you that chance, and then we'll call it a day.
Okay, so they say what we do for my water then? If we bring electricity down from 35 cents to 19 cents, my water they're not feeling it. If we kept the price of rice at $13 for 4 years, if we gave it free public tertiary education, 27,000 students graduating every 4 years, wire fees are now being paid by us, the young girls are not going out there to prostitute themselves. Let's look at the document. What the document say? 2013, maternal mortality was 1,023.
Can we repeat that number?
Let me finish now. Hey, God.
Jackie, let he get closer. Let he get closer.
1,023 per 100,000. It came down to between 700 and 800 in 2020. The Human Development Report last year says Liberia's life expectancy at 64 years is the highest in the Mana River Union. The Multi-Dimensional Poverty Index report of 2022, Liberia was one of 20 countries in the world that saw the fastest decrease in multi-dimensional poverty. If you don't believe it, go check out those figures there. Me, I don't argue. In my head, I'm not reading nothing. I'm looking straight at you. So, Jawia has done what the others could not do. What JMB didn't want to do. The 12-year road. The 12-year road. Who squander opportunities? Who said they call us Rescue 1, Rescue 2? Why didn't they rescue Nokia from Robert Salif when they were cannibalizing it? Why he didn't rescue us from the 64 or the 66 concession agreements that were deemed fraudulent? Why he didn't rescue himself from the 35 million that the ADA lab program gave him to do a rice farm in Foya? Where is that rice farm? I call them clueless 1 and clueless 2. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you, and you have a good day. Jackie, you know I love you, but you know you ain't going nowhere because you have a bad record, a very terrible record. And we'll run our record versus your record. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Mr. Jackson, it was good to have you again, man. Always. You know you always got a place here. Anytime you want to come back, you are welcome. Thank you always for your heated and fire a contribution here. You know, the man from LSE can play the London.
Forget about LSE.
The
Forget about
London
LSE.
School of Economics. I remember that, Jackie, but good to have you, and we're looking forward to have you here again
Thank you,
on
Mama. I'm
future.
leaving. I know how to leave. Oh,
Thank you.
the
No,
other
you're
thing
not
I
leaving,
leave.
because you're gonna listen to me before you leave.
Okay, listen to you, Mama. No problem. No problem, Mama. Anything you
Just
say,
click,
Mama.
on your name. It'll come up.
No, you
Oh,
shouldn't leave.
Okay.
no, I'm not leaving. I will stay. I will stay, Jackie.
Jackie, get your closing.
Okay.
Jackie love my business, not my home.
So, Mr. Jackson,
Yeah.
I see your passion in supporting this government. But as you go ahead and carry out that passion and exhibit it and display that passion, you must also display the facts as they are. I would urge you not to take the figures from Unity Party and inject them in the report for the CDC. Please do not mislead the people. Let's talk the facts, because the facts are there. The international people know the facts because they are our partners, and they sit down, they have meetings with us all the time when they see the numbers are not going the right way. So that over the years, there have been several meetings on all regarding all these figures, the health figures, even the financial figures, the economic figures, and they've been down our throat. So you know that very well. But yet again, I know, because you don't have this government doesn't have the right figures to give you, so you covering it up by using the numbers that were in the turnover note and that were turned over to this government. I understand that. That's okay, but we will be here to correct you every single time when you bring numbers that were in the turnover notes and given to the CDC government. Having said that, with all the everything you just said, the hunger rate, there is no way you can say poverty rate improved when the hunger rate has skyrocketed according to the international reports that just came out last month. It's not possible. So again, please go back and revise your figures, because all your figures are wrong, and they are very, very misleading. And you can even say that Liberians are 1 million are millionaires today. Liberians on the ground know the fact, because they know they are hungry, they know they are starving, they know they know that they are in a very, very bad position right now when it comes to jobs, hunger, the economic condition, and everything. So the Liberians people know, the Liberians know, and therefore on October 10th, they will make a decision to switch government, to make a change, and that is to change the CDC government. So, and that's a fact. And that's why you guys are so afraid, because of the JMB and Coon ticket, because that's a winning ticket. But that's okay. To be afraid is okay. But I still love you, Mr. Sam Jackson. That's my closing.
Thank you, Jackie.
I love your mother more.
Kev, do your closing.
Karina Wilson's daughter.
Well, my closing is Sam, the Unity Party can't defend their ticket. They're looking for everything, and we're not going to and go down that rabbit hole with them. Defend your ticket. How you have a ticket, you can't defend it? I know in the country I live, when you get your ticket, you go places, then you defend it. Your surrogate, they send the surrogate, they're all over to defend it. But the surrogate are not defending it. The surrogate are running. They're looking for here and there. Yeah, and then, oh, you invite Peter, you invite John. There's things that don't make sense. If you cannot defend your own ticket, shows that ticket will fail. How can we have a member of the tag team, Jackie, cannot defend that ticket? Anytime I call to defend the ticket, she pivot, she go. Sam, let them defend the ticket. You want to ask her for road? Go look at the road. We'll send you all the document. I'm not talking anyway. I will send you all the document. I will send your picture. But you defend your ticket. We want to know that ticket. If that ticket a winning ticket. why you betray the rest, and why you elect, why you choose Jeremiah Kun. I want to know. I'm not going nowhere. You'll tell about that ticket. They're hiding for the ticket. Let them tell us. That's my closing.
Well, we want to thank everybody. We want to apologize again to our many listeners that for starting late today. We had a real serious technical problem, so we had to start like around 5 o'clock. We want to apologize to you. Our show is from 4:30 U.S. time, and it starts in Liberia at 8:30. So we want to apologize. We'll be back here again on Friday at 4:30 with another hot closing argument topic. So we ask you to join us. Also, let me say to you, we have received a lot of requests from businesses that want to do a demo for the business. If you want to do that, you can reach out to any one of us here, and we'll connect you with the guys in Liberia to do that. I know Miss Esther Bryan with one of the most beautiful spa in Monrovia at the Corona Hotel. It's called Pampa Palace. She had reached out to us. I went there when I was in Liberia. I did my massage, and not only was it cheap, but I felt so relaxed. The lady told me my body was just stiff. So we will be she reached out to us. We'll be having a promo here. So if you have a business, you want to do a promo for your business, just let us know and we'll connect you with the guys in Liberia. But it was great to have you. Thank you again for joining the closing argument. We look forward to another exciting show on Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and also 8:30 p.m. Liberian time. It was great to see you. Thank you so much to the guys in the studio at KMTV. Thank you, and we look forward to see you. Thank you, and have a good night, man.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, thank you very much for following the closing argument. Until we come back on Friday, I want to say good night from the nation's capital, Monrovia.
Bye-bye.